As Ranking Member Wicker has pointed out, that means funding for more attack submarines and concrete investments in the production lines that will help us meet our goals. If the administration is serious about making AUKUS a success, it should work with Congress this fall to make urgent supplemental investments in meeting military requirements in the Indo-Pacific. Importantly, the administration should also prioritize.
It's happening. The millions of people may see a drastic increase and decrease in monthly benefit checks. Direct deposit of checks or set to go out to Social Security recipients may be adjusted from the federal government. And there's some shocking news. A new Congressional Budget Office reports projects that an even more dire outlook for Social Security's future than was previously calculated. Without action to fix this situation, huge benefit cuts for recipients will begin in 2033, and preventing those cuts will require massive tax increases for working Americans beginning immediately. In contrast to the Social Security's trustees' own projections, the Congressional Budget Office estimates that Social Security's combined retirement and disability insurance programs will run out of money again just 2 years earlier. And now that tax increases necessary to fund scheduled benefits are higher than the Social Security's trustees projected. The trustees also assumed only 4.5% price inflation in 2022 and 2.3% in 2023, while the CBO report accounted for the recent 8.7% cost of increase. According to economists, Social Security's future is not secure. The program is running out of time and money. Recent increase in government spending and debt have crowded out options for reform, and virtually all Americans stand to lose some policy enactment. The Congressional Budget Office report stated that there are 5 main issues right now with Social Security. And the first is that Social Security has a spending problem. Social Security will only be able to pay out 2% tax, and the program promised to take never more than 6% of a worker's paycheck. Today it takes 12%, and even that falls short of the program's ever-rising cost. The Congressional Budget Office projects that Social Security's costs will increase by 42% of the next 75 years, as its revenues remain stable. Protecting Social Security requires reining in on the excessive cost growth, and action means benefit cuts of 23%. Current law requires that Social Security benefits come from within the program, so once fund draw runs dry, Social Security will only be able to pay as much as benefits as it receives in taxes. That will mean a roughly $5,000 cut in annual benefits for a typical retiree, and about $4,000 less for the average disability beneficiary. Congressional Budget Office also stated that as of right now, anyone who is 65 or older will not reach today's Social Security retirement age. That's before the age of money runs out. Also, anyone who is currently below the ages of 57 and 107 today, who is still alive and collecting benefits in 2033, will be subject to benefit cuts. It's also predicted that younger workers have the most to lose in benefits. Because if policymakers fail to act and benefit cuts begin in 2033, the Congressional Budget Office estimates that people born in 1970 will experience a 26% reduction, and those born in the 80s and 90s will receive a 27% reduction. It's preventing insolvency to tax increases. It will require 18% tax roll, and now the Congressional Budget Office says that maintaining Social Security scheduled benefits for the next 75 years would require an immediate increase in Social Security payroll tax from 12 to 17%. This would mean $12,000 in Social Security taxes for the median household that has about 70% increase in the cost of gas, utilities, other expenses. Now, other states would like to send their residents new rebate checks. Minnesota families could receive up to $2,600, and under a plan from the governor, you can get also a lot of money from this stimulus check. Individuals who make up to $75,000 a year could receive a check of up to $1,000 each, and for married couples, the threshold for a $2,000 check is $1,500. Parents could receive an additional $200 for the rebate check for each child. The maximum benefit for a family is around $2,600. As many as 2.5 million Minnesota households are expected to receive a check if the plan is adopted. The governor wrote out the final chapter of his budget proposal, and he said it's time for Social Security benefits to increase, time for people to get stimulus checks. I agree. I think it's time for people to get stimulus. Not only that, folks, but listen to this. As part of a 2-year budget deal, $4.4 billion is being sent in extra spending for schools, $1 billion for tax credits, and another one for people in need. So like I'm telling you guys, Walt said the tax benefit can make a meaningful difference for the Minnesota families. And he said it was important to hand some of that funding directly to taxpayers, just to let them decide how to spend their money the best. Walt told reporters today that the checks are a big difference for housing. It could be first and last month rent. It could be the things you need to do for your children. The proposal also included an increase in the state's capital gains tax, a payroll tax to fund the family's program, and increased vehicles to tap the fees. As part of a 2 full-year budget deal, Walz proposed more than $4.4 billion in extra spending. That's $4.4 billion going to people in need. If you can get that stimulus check, that would be great. But I also want to say another thing. Other states like Montana are discussing a new tax rebate payments. Both Republican governors and Republican majorities in the Montana legislature have identified tax relief as one of their top priorities. Lawmakers begin hearing the first set of major tax bills. Some differences have been appearing in exactly how they want to return the money to taxpayers, and one of the main priorities has been a property tax rebate, using some of that state's $2 billion surplus. He's backed the House bill with sponsors from the Representatives Tom Welch, and he initially proposed a rebate of up to $1,000 each. A lot of people can get stimulus this year, folks. Let's see it happen. Let's make it happen, Joe. What do you guys think about the fourth stimulus check this year in 2023? Is Joe Biden going to send it? I believe he will, because Joe Biden has nothing else to do but to send out stimulus checks. Folks, according to a report from the U.S. Government Accountability Office, more than $60 billion have been paid out in fraudulent unemployment insurance benefits during this time. Yes, fraudulent unemployment benefits during this time.
Looking for 6% growth this quarter, nearly double what it was forecast last month. Better growth expected to continue for the next 2 quarters, between 7 and 9%, before coming down to a still pretty strong 4.3% by year end. Most economists are figuring in about $1.6 trillion of new fiscal relief, but they're also growing inflation concerns, something that's sure to come up.
Employment benefits kept her afloat until someone somewhere took all of her money.
When I looked at my statement and went, all my money's gone.
Diane suddenly found dozens of mysterious charges on her EDD account, many of them from a company in Africa.
What is this? Who go host West Africa, South Africa? Like, I don't know.
All she knew was her unemployment benefits were gone.
$7,000 taken out of my account. It hurts.
Diane immediately called Bank of America.
House Representatives already signed a bill that includes $1 trillion in spending. Biden is ready to pass new legislation, and the bill has several provisions that will affect millions of Americans. Americans can expect to see a drastic change in their benefit checks, and according to the White House, the House of Representatives already passed a sweeping $2 trillion bill. It will keep the government funded from this year to next. The bill passed 225 to 201, with Republicans supporting the bill and with Democratic Representatives Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez voting no. Still, Joe Biden, who sent a statement just after the passage that he signed the bill into law as soon as it reached his desk, applauded its bipartisan support. Biden signed the short-term funding bill into law today, officially averting a government shutdown. This is the most important stimulus check, Social Security news, and SSI